and we're back with another Q&A, Q&A number 2. I had recorded this beforehand, but unfortunately, everything, like audio-wise, it wasn't great. Everything wasn't set up. Audio-wise, it wasn't catching the game audio or anything, and like, it was just really horrible. It wasn't, how I wanted it to be audio-wise, so I fixed it. I set it up to where it should pick up my headset sound and the game sound like usual. So yeah, this is a Q&A number 2. That's first question is from Mr. Potato Head. I don't know if there's any numbers or anything. He says, favorite old school gaming system and games, why? And why? Sega Genesis, because it was the first console I ever got with, like, not my own money. My parents had bought it. It was the first console I ever got, and I grew up with the system, so I have nostalgia for it, and it's sentimental value to me, and it's, like I said, it was the first console I ever played and had, so it means a lot to me. Definitely the Sega Genesis. I'm not crazy about the 8-bit style, like the older guys, the older generation is from the 80s, they love the Nintendo and all that. I prefer the 16-bit style over, 8-bit, whatever. So yeah, favorite system is the Genesis. Reason why is because, I said why. Favorite games, there's a lot of them, man. There's over 900 games for it total, so like, there's a lot to choose from. There's Comic Zone, which is a really underrated beat 'em up, which is really difficult though. It's incredibly underrated as a game. Like, everything about it is awesome. It's you're a comic book sketch artist, and you create your own comic book, and you have to get out of your comic book because you get transported into it by an evil mad scientist, pretty much. And it's just, graphically, it pushed the Genesis to its limits. It's like that. It's really amazing. It's difficult, but it's worth a play. Like, just play it. If you love beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage, Double Dragon, Final Fight, stuff like that, you'll love Comic Zone. Like I said, it's really difficult though. So, Comic Zone, Rise Star, which is incredibly underrated. It's a platformer. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog almost, but it's not. You get me? It's like, no, put it like this. It's Mario, but you're a star, and you don't jump or anything. Well, you do, but to defeat enemies, you have to grab them with your outstretched arms. I did a LP of it a while ago. Give that a watch if you like that. You see it in action, and you see what I'm talking about. There's Rise Star, Comic Zone. What am I missing? Castlevania Bloodlines is awesome. The only Castlevania game on Genesis, by the way. Contra Hardcore, which is one of the most underrated Contras, because everybody talks about the NES Contra. They don't really talk about anything else, any other Contra, to be honest, in my opinion. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is underrated. It's a classic. I love that game. It's probably one of the longest Genesis games, alongside the Tick, which is one of the best cartoon-based video games as well. I love that game too. Both of those games have the same amount of levels, 45 levels, I believe. And yeah, it's really long. It's Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a isometric, not isometric, top-down view, kind of like Link to the Past, and you have to save your neighbors. Hence the name of the game. From like zombies and monsters, and different horror movie themed people, characters. What else? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Battletoads and Double Dragon is awesome. Death and Return of Superman is awesome. It's also on the SNES, but I played the Genesis version. Streets Rage 2 is a great beat 'em up. That is my favorite beat 'em up of all time. The music is amazing on that. Yuzo Koshiro is the man. He composed the music for all three games, I believe. That Streets Rage 2 was his best work, I believe, in my opinion. He probably did other games too, but yeah, Streets Rage 2 is just awesome. Just house music, early 90s house music, because that's when it came out. And it's just incredible, man. Play it if you haven't. A lot of people have. Some people say Streets of Rage 1 is the best one, but nah, Streets of Rage 2, in my opinion, is the best one in the whole series. Vector Man 1 and 2 is underrated. Shining Force 1 and 2, which is a strategy RPG, and I'm not really a strategy RPG type of guy, but those are the only two strategy RPGs I'll play, believe it or not, is Shining Force 1 and 2. Also Vector Man 2, yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think, really. I don't want to dwell too long on just this one question, because I have 3 other questions to get to. Let's see. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker is awesome. Did I say Battletoads and Double Dragon? Oh, Battletoads and Double Dragon, if I haven't said it. The Punisher. And as you can see, I'm not playing the Genesis version, I'm playing the arcade version, because graphically, it's superior to the arcade version in every way, and I want you guys to, see how colorful it is and how big it is. On the Genesis version, it's basically this. It's the same game, just everything is just scaled down really small, and it's just, it's not, as like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, same everything, dialogue, story, everything. The only difference is the graphics. But yeah, that's, those are some of my favorite ones. Let me pause. Let's see, next question. Scrolling through my Twitter feed. What video game character do you want to kill the most, excluding the obvious answers like Navi? Comes from @SamEarl13. I would have to say. Oh, I wasn't pressing enter. Fail. Probably Sephiroth, because he's just an asshole. Even though technically he was controlled by Jenova, because he was injected with Jenova cells. So he was the whole game. He's being controlled by Jenova, and she tells spoilers if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII. He kills Aeris, whatever. But yeah, Sephiroth, because he's just such an asshole and just wants to take over the world and kill everybody. Even though he is mind controlled by Jenova, whatever. He does wants to, kill everybody and just take over the world with Meteor and with Jenova, and have this world domination type of thing going. But yeah, Sephiroth, he's just an asshole in my opinion. But he has a badass sword though. That Masamune, that's badass. It's really long. That's what she said. But yeah, Sephiroth. If I had to pick a really annoying character that I want to kill off, I would say Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Let's see. I don't want to dwell too long on each question and take too long. You know what I mean? 8 minutes. Yeah, I don't want to take too long. So yeah, Sephiroth. The next question is from @RobinBird on Twitter. She's awesome. She's a good friend of mine. Follow her if you haven't. Follow everybody that I've answered so far. Follow everybody. Samuel13, Mr. Potato Head, everybody. She's a good friend of mine. She talks retro games and everything retro gaming wise. She's awesome. She's a good friend of mine. I think I said that already. But yeah. What would be your favorite Saturday morning cartoon from growing up, and why? Okay, that's a good question. There's a ton, man, because in the 90s, that's when it, exploded and was, really popular. So, I would have to... There's a ton, but if I had to just pick one... I'm guessing you just want me to pick one, I'm not sure. But, X-Men the Animated Series, mostly because it has my favorite X-Men character, Cyclops. I love Cyclops. Some people hate on him, but I love Cyclops. He's awesome. That theme song, man, that's just it rocks. I love the theme song. The animation is incredible. Every episode is awesome. Every episode, I believe, follows a a comic book arc, or it's just like one long comic book arc. I forget. But yeah, that show is awesome. I'm gonna expand on it a little bit. I hope you don't mind. But there's also Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures, Hysteria, Freakazoid, Garfield and Friends. What else? What else? What else? It's hard to think of off the top of my head. There's Hey Arnold. Well, does that count? I don't know if it came out on Saturday morning. It did. It did came out. You know. There's a ton. That's my point. Freakazoid, Hysteria, Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, Jackie Chan Adventures, Cubics. If anybody remembers that show from Kids WB before it was the CW or whatever it is now. Cubics, Jackie Chan Adventures, The Mummy animated series, Spider-Man the animated series. If I haven't said that, that's just incredible. Did Iron Man the animated series come on Saturday mornings? I'm not sure if it did, but if it did, Iron Man the animated series, all those. There's a lot more, but those are a few good ones that I really, really, really like. Oh, Kablam. Excuse me. Yeah. How many was that? I believe that's 3 so far. Let's see. I answered that. Oh, Rocko's Modern Life, Recess, Sonic the Hedgehog, both cartoon shows. The Sonic the Hedgehog show and Sonic Saturday or Sonic Saturday Morning, both awesome. I love it. That theme song is amazing. For the Sonic Saturday one is amazing. Let's see. Last one. I got a few, but the last one I'll pick comes from WolfKing2010 on Twitter. What game do you want above all other games releasing this year? I'd have to say Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, because I have a 3DS and I have a couple games, a couple 3DS games. I have like 3, and I just have one DS game, which is Pokemon Black 2. But yeah, I got a couple 3DS games, really good ones too. I got A Link Between Worlds, Tales of the Abyss, and Pokemon X. I got those on my birthday, and that's just. And yes, it was a birthday present to myself, because I got birthday money. So yeah, I would say Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii. It's also coming out for the Wii. One thing about it is that it's not on the handheld. It's also on the Wii U. So it's also the first handheld Smash Bros. Game, I believe, because other than that, it's always been on console. So yeah, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, because that's the first handheld Smash Bros. Game, and I'm just really hyped for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. It's just amazing. It looks amazing, and both versions look identical. One is not superior to the other or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped for that. I'm gonna be picking like Roy or Marth from Fire Emblem, or Link if Link is in Super Smash Bros. He should be, because I like those guys with swords, and they're more offense than defense, and I'm an offensive type of guy when it comes to Smash Bros. So definitely Smash Bros. For 3DS, because it's gonna be amazing, and I'm really hyped for it. And it's just like I said, it looks amazing so far, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. It's looking really good so far. I'm excited and it's coming out this summer too, so I'm really, really excited. I'm hoping for a June or July release. If anything, at most, it'll probably come out in August if it doesn't come out in June or July. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be playing online, so yeah, for sure. I'm pretty hyped for it. I think also for that, the online portion, you can play with people that have it on Wii U. I'm not sure about that, But I think you can do online play, and also there's no story to it. It's just strictly online, I believe. Somebody should look that up. I think Sakurai said it's just strictly online. You can play against other people online. It's no story, and he cut out the story for a specific reason. I forget what it was. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii. But other than that, let's see. 15. Yeah, that's good enough. I don't want to go too long on a Q&A. This has been my second ever Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I answered each of your questions very thoroughly and in detail. And I'll be doing this again for sure. I enjoyed the Q&As. It's a little break from LPing and everything, so it's nice. I'll probably do the next one next week. Probably next week, yeah. That's a good, little time frame for Q&As. Every week I'll do a Q&A. I'll do like 4 questions each or something, 3 or 4 at the most. I don't want to, overdo it. So yeah. I hope like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. And watch out for my next LP, which will probably be either Final Fantasy VII or Spyro the Dragon. So look out for that. Coming up later today, I shall be recording, a bunch of videos for it, for my LP, for my new LP. But other than that, this is Sonic Fan signing off, and I hope you guys enjoyed my second ever Q&A. Have a good one, everybody.